fellow marketers, Professor Wolters here, and we're continuing our discussion on personal branding. And now what I want to do is kind of help you know ways that you can build up your personal brand. Because you know, you've been working on it, you've been posting things, you've been doing things, you've been trying to be who you want to be to get that personal brand going. But there's some things you can really think about that are really going to help you kind of build this personal brand. Spread the word about how great you are, how honest you are, how hardworking you are, how lazy you are, whatever you want to be known for. That's okay, all right? So we want to think about this. And I think one thing you really got to think about when you're developing your personal brand is you really have to think about developing a network of people that are out there that you can work with. But the thing is, you need to be that hub, okay? If it's a wheel, you're that center, and you have the connection to the spokes out there to all those different parts of that wheel, and then you can bring people together. And that really helps, because what you'll see in real life when you go to work, people work in silos. I mean, people like, I only work in my area, and they don't know people that are over there. I mean, heck, I know places where I work, they don't know the people working in the offices down the hall from them, okay? Because we're just in our little silos. And so if you're looking to build your network, find ways to connect those silos. Don't just be stuck in your silo. Don't just be in your little like cubbyhole kind of thing. Branch out, build your network. If you're in marketing, learn from the accounting people, get to meet the finance people and other people. That's part of your job, and that's going to help get your word out there, your brand out there, if you're doing that. And the way you do that is, look, you're going to have to be the one that makes that kind of connection. You're the one that has to go out there and ask them, hey, you want to go grab a drink? Hey, you want to go grab lunch sometime? Hey, I'd like to talk to you about what you're doing, and find out about people. Because the thing is, no one's going out of their way anymore to really go out and meet people and make those connections. We all want to, let's be honest, we all want to sit on our phones, and if I can just text them, that'd be great. Look, if you want to build that personal brand, you want to get it out there, you have to be out there in person and making those connections. So go for those lunches, go for those drinks, find out about people and make those connections, because then you can learn about them and what they need, right? And then what you can offer, or what other people you know what they offer and they need, and you can make that connection and grow your personal brand and grow your network. So get out there and get to know more people to help grow it, all right? Now, another thing that's going to help you build your personal brand is if you're doing your research on your industry and you know what's coming before other people do. You know, it's like I've been talking to my fellow colleagues for a long time. Look, you got to start making some of these videos on your own, because one day you're going to have some online video and be like, no. And then COVID-19 came and we all had to have videos out there. Oh, and people were like, oh, Mark, you were right. I should have done that. I'm like, yeah, eventually. I mean, I didn't see COVID-19 coming, but I saw that, look, you're going to need to have some online stuff. You need to have that presence out there. And if you're the person that sees that wave beforehand, you're the one warning them. They're like, oh, wow, Mark knew that. Bob knew that. Sarah knew that. That's going to help build your brand that, oh, they know that industry. I mean, if you look at anything that ever shows up on the Motley Fool, right? They're like, oh, this is the man that predicted Amazon at 3 cents. And this is the person that predicted Apple at $1. And it would go to be billions. They always use that. Say, look, they knew beforehand. That's what you want to do. And if that's the thing is, you're always doing your research and getting to know your industry and what's coming next, so you have an idea of what the next step is. I know in education, what are you going to see? Yes, even more online. But you know what? I wouldn't doubt it if in the not too long term, freshman year in college, you stay home for that and everything is online, and you come to the physical university when you need to have that hands-on, like real world, face-to-face kind of stuff at the higher level courses. I can see that coming. So what do we want to do? What are we going to do about that? Well, if you look on our videos, a lot of our videos are that lower level stuff, because the higher level stuff, we're going to be more together, right? And so you kind of see those things. So do your research, put your resources into figuring out what these changes are going to be, and make sure you're a part of that wave. You're not like getting washed away by the wave, you're riding the wave and you're surfing by and stuff like that, okay? Now, another thing you want to think about when you're building your personal brand, it really builds it up, is really realize it's okay not to work with your strengths. And I know a lot of times, like, look, I just want to work on my strengths, I'm going to keep going that way. But sometimes your strengths will only take you so far, and you're going to have to work on your weaknesses. You're going to have to improve those things over there. Look, if I want to be a full professor, I could be the greatest teaching professor ever. It's not going to matter, because I had to have research as well. Not my favorite thing to do. Ask anybody. I don't like doing it. I want to teach. But I know, look, if I want to get up here, I got to start doing more stuff in research. I got to like not just work on the strengths, but also work on those weaknesses to get them up to snuff. And that's what you'll see building your personal brand. Yeah, they know this really well. And also, they're not bad at these other things. Look, you don't have to be a master of everything, right? But you need to be a master of something and a jack of all trades at the same time. Because how many of you'll hear people say, oh, those who can't teach. And they're saying, look, you don't know how to do things, so you have to go teach people how it is, and it doesn't work. No, I teach, I do these things together. Oh, it brings more respect. It builds your brand up. And I think one of the toughest things when you're developing your personal brand is figuring out some things you got to let go. Some of your strengths you're really good at, you got to say, you know what? That's not going to build up the personal brand in the right way. I need to focus on something else. On our travel channel, we used to do language videos. I love speaking foreign languages. I've taught in Portuguese, I've taught in Spanish, I've taught in German, I've taught in Lithuanian, and now I only teach in English. Yes, my strength is my best language, but I miss those things. It was such fun to do that. But you know what? I had to let that go and focus on the international language of English to teach my courses. And so you realize that sometimes those strengths that can really help you out, you need to kind of get rid of, or at least not focus on too much. And that's why, going with those weaknesses and the other things, that's why sometimes when you see where the area is going, where things are going, maybe you need to start switching your resource into building that weakness or that thing you don't know what to do into a strength. You got to figure out how to do those things, okay? Now, another thing that's going to help you build your personal brand or really build it up is really showing your authority. But the thing is, how do you show your authority, right? I'm like, well, what does a police officer do? They have their badge right there. The sheriffs, I'm the sheriff in town. Or you ever go into an office and you go to the doctor's office or you go to the dentist's office, they have there's their doctor's license there, and there's their certificate from working at this school and things like that. You want to show people that authority you have. That's why you'll see on blogs and stuff like that, they'll go down there, as seen on ABC Nightly News with Diane Sawyer, as seen on See Karate Cal, as seen on the Science Channel, as seen on the Travel Channel. Why do they do that? They're trying to look, I'm not just some dude, putting out YouTube videos. I've actually been on these other things in this real media. You're showing your authority. That's why you're going to see in our old videos I used to have in there USA Today's #1 independent travel videographer from 2014. Yes. Oh, you don't think I'm good? Well, USA Today and their people did, and TripAdvisor had us ranked as one of the best and all this other kind of stuff. You start doing those things to show that authority. That's why you say, oh, well, I've got that PhD at the end of my name. There's an MD at the end of my name. Excuse me, it's Dr. Wolters. No, but the thing is people won't necessarily always know your authority level, okay? So sometimes you gotta let them know. And so kind of think about what will show your authority. Is it your diploma on the wall? Is it pictures of you with, successful clients and things like that? What's it gonna be? And it's gonna be different in every different location. That's why restaurants, what do they have? You'll see them put up pictures of famous people there. Look, we're so good, the famous people come here, right? And so you kind of think about those. And that's why sometimes it's a good idea to help build your, the authority, but also to build your brand, is to look at leadership roles, okay? Because leadership roles really will build your brand, because it shows that, look, I'm not just sitting back and let other people do stuff. I'm taking charge. I'm the one doing stuff, okay? And that's why it's really important that you take true leadership positions. I tell my students all the time, look, it's nice that you're in 10 student organizations, but the businesses want to see you have one where you have some kind of leadership role. Were you the president? Were you the vice president, treasurer? What did you do? Or were you just a person sitting in the back going, I can put this on my resume? You have to think about those things, okay? So think about leadership positions that are out there, because people follow leaders. Let's be honest, people talk about sheeple. People are sheep and they just follow people around. It's true. You can be a leader. People want to be led. And so if you can get those positions of leadership and show you're good at it, people are glad to follow you. I'm not saying like doing stupid stuff, but look, who doesn't want to work for a good leader? I want a great boss. I want a great leader so I can follow them. We all want that. And so when you take those roles and you learn how to be a better leader, it goes a long way. And so that's why I always say it's nice. Volunteer for leadership positions. If there isn't something that in your business or whatever, what about in your community? The better the organization you're volunteering with. Look, I've been on the school board of a school before. That really meant a lot. My wife, she's been on the board of preservation organizations, stuff like that, showing, look, we're not just members. We've been the vice president. We've been the secretary. We've done these things. Okay, it really shows things. So think about the kind of leadership roles that will really show authority, really show that you could be someone people trust, that you have a position that people would trust, okay? So think about that in terms of these organizations you might join in your professional life, whether it's a Rotary or Kiwanis or whatever, okay? Now, another thing, and I've talked about this in a lot of the other videos, is really building up your personal brand, especially today, is about building up your online presence. Yes, you have your LinkedIn, Facebook, Twitter. We got all that stuff. We've covered that in other videos, right? And if you haven't watched those videos, you will eventually watch those videos and we'll talk about that. But the thing is have those dedicated social media things and talk about things in your industry. Now, you might have multiple Twitter feeds. Now, I'm not saying have like a burner account like Mark is the best ever. No, AstroTurf marketing. We got another video on that, but we're not going to do that. What you want to do is have it so you can be discussing certain issues in society, things that are out there. So my LinkedIn, what do I talk about my LinkedIn? Well, a lot of times I'll talk about how to be a better teacher, how to transition from face-to-face to online classes. I'll talk about more professional kind of things on there. Instagram, oh, it's more fun kind of things. YouTube, it's about helpful videos. We kind of see that, look, the different social media presences we have really do influence our personal brand, and we got to make sure we're on top of that and we're building them up in the right way. And that's why I say is, look, the Kager party pictures, maybe make those private or don't let people find those like easily. I mean, they'll find them. Don't worry. They always find them, okay? They always find them. But, you know, make it so it's a little bit more difficult for them to find. And so that's why, you know, I always like my students, I'm like, look, have a blog. If you write papers, you do things, put those online. Let people see your work. If you have a feeling like this is what I think data privacy means to millennials, or this is what I think the data privacy means to Gen Y or Gen Z or whatever, have that discussion. See that, look, I've thought about these things. I've put these things out there so people can see. It's like, wow, you've been thinking about this. And over time, as you post more and more stuff, people see, dang, you really have been doing this for a while. Yeah, this isn't a fly-by-night. I've been thinking about marketing for a long time. I've been thinking about lawn care for a long time, as you can see in our blogs and our online presences. That's why you're like, man, they got 1,000 videos? Holy moly, they got 100 videos? Wow, that's a lot. If you see someone that has 3, you're like, oh. Like they have 3, think about it. You see something on Amazon with 3 reviews, you're like, yeah, you know, I'm not really sure. I need a little bit more. And so you got to think about things like that. And the last thing you can do to really build up your personal brand is get out there. Go out into the real world. Go out and smell the fresh air with all the pollen, because I'm really trying not to sneeze right now. You got to go out there. It's not just that online presence, okay? You've got to go and speak at events. You got to go and talk at different groups. You got to be out there, okay? I've done events at local libraries. I've talked to student groups. I've talked to graduating classes. I've talked to all kinds of stuff. Why? To get the word out. I've spoken, I've ran things at VidCon and stuff like that. Like, look, hey, let's talk about travel vlogging. Let's get out there. Like, wow, you're the one leading this. Yeah. Well, what does that say about your personal brand? You're not just this, you're a leader in this area. And so you kind of go out there, because if you go talk at a Rotary group, like they're already saying, you are a leader, right? And so by being a leader, the Rotary group has had you come up here. Already you have that whole different persona, that whole different personality, that whole different setup. And that's helping build your brand. So go out there, find speaking events that you can talk at, and you can go and build that brand to help get things out there. So then when crazy people come driving up, they might wave, or they might not wave. Who knows? Who knows? You know, whatever. No, but you got to think about it and get out there, because honestly, building your personal brand, I know so many of us just want to stay in that online bubble, but to really make it grow, you got to get out there and be seen. That's why a lot of people love when their favorite YouTubers and their favorite online presence people, they get out there and they're doing things with real people, not just online. Like, oh, hey, Mr. Beast's actually out there ordering pizza and giving people a house. That's totally cool. Like, he's out there doing it. And so you see that it helps build up his brand even more. He's helpful, he's funny, he's doing good stuff. And look, he's actually done with random people out there, not just talking about it online. So I hope that helps you know a little bit more about how you can build up your personal brand. Continue on with the videos, learn lots more, and I'll say bye from this random road. Bye.